Hey people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you're all good. Coming to you from a very sunny Mexico today. Just want to show you the background. To get you all jealous if you're in the UK. So today I just want to do a Q&A. I'll answer any questions that anyone's got. Wait for people to come on board. And yeah, as always, if you're watching this later on YouTube, please hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. Instagram still shadow banned, so if you can comment, like, share anything on there. And on Facebook, if you want to like, comment, share this, anyone you think will find it useful, that's fantastic. Just before we get into today's Q&A, just want to say there's been some even more fantastic information come out. I'm actually going to post it a bit later on. Not only have we had Dr. Mike Iodine, who's a former CSO and Vice President of Allergy and Respiratory Research at Pfizer, and also like the co-founder of Zarco Pharma, coming out and saying how much of a hoax all this is, how it's been completely overblown, how the world should return to normal. We've now just had Dr. Hodgkinson come out, who's, the people in the natural health world have been saying this for a long period of time. It's why, if you look at the people we follow, we don't get ill. There's a whole host of people, Dr. Zach Bush, Paul Check, you can go Dr. Shirley Tenpenny, the list is endless. Myself, Warren Williams, Nicola Becker, Jason Christoph, Terry Tillard, it goes on and on and on. But then you've got people actually in the mainstream medical industry. And Dr. Hodgkinson was the assistant professor of faculty medicine at the University of Alberta. He's the CEO and medical director of MedMal Doctors. He's also a chairman of Mutant DX, a molecular diagnostics company in North Carolina selling the COVID tests. He's got degrees from Cambridge in the UK. He's a pathologist. Also, he's a fellow of the College of American Pathologists, the FCAP. Coming out and saying that this is completely outrageous. It's got nothing to do with a virus. This is politics playing medicine, and it's very, very dangerous. And it's just another bad flu, and you have to get your minds around that. So it's amazing. But these people are coming out and saying this now as well. It's got to the point where enough is enough. And because, before this has never been about a deadly virus, it's not been about taking away your freedoms. And they're even trying to put out things that now where anyone who's talking about it was anti-vaccine, which is really just anti-stupidity once you read the vaccine ingredients, the inserts, the damage they've done, the amount of money they paid out in the billions, and only 1% is ever reported. It just becomes, if you're actually pro-vaccine, you're anti-science. But anyway, we can get into that at another time. I'm actually going to do a post about Pfizer. I'm actually going to post the video from Dr. Hodgkinson as well a bit later on. But I just thought I'd come on today to ask anyone if they've got any questions. If they want anything. Cool, so Kimberly, allergies, food and environmental, any advice? Yeah, so when it comes to allergies, generally you want to take out your main components. A lot of people go and get tested, and a lot of these tests actually give false positives, which are never going to help anyone. False positives, false negatives, because you're actually only going to get things that are on the surface level. So I prefer to do biological testing or test with kinesiologists, things like that. But first things first, I want to remove all the things that are highly allergenic and inflammatory, things like gluten, wheat, pasteurized, homogenized dairy, soy, caffeine, alcohol, and your rancid oils. Because generally, when you're getting reactions to these issues, so when you're getting reactions to foods, etc., it comes in the body being very toxic, deficient, internally imbalanced, and overly stressed. And the more toxic you are, the more you're going to have issues like allergies. It could be reaction to things like vaccines. It could be sometimes EMFs. So you just have to try and mitigate these things as much as possible. So that's one thing. So what you want to do is stay away from those things, and then if you strip it right back, you can go in the Malaysian diet and start adding things in to see what can actually become what is actually an issue. Strip it right back, but also healing and seeing the gut as well, because anything going through the gut lining goes into the bloodstream, that causes an allergenic response. So a lot of people have got leaky gut syndrome, or what we call gut permeability, which is a big issue. So we need to go that. And the environmental as well. You know, you want to stay away from when cooking your food in, you know, non-toxic cookware. You don't want to have anything like Teflon, paint, all the things that women put like 5 kgs of toxic sludge on their skin in a year. So say making chemicals, shampoos, moisturisers, all things that can just really cause the body to be extremely toxic, and these exaggerate any allergic responses you may have. So you want to cut out all the things that can cause these, you know, phthalates, SLSs, parabens. They're like the main players, and you've got other ingredients as well, so look into that. So if you're going through that, really got to strip it right back and start to change the internal terrain of the body. There's one thing is taken out, these things like subtracting, the other thing is changing the internal terrain of the body. Once you do that, clear the body of plastics, chemicals, toxins, parasites, protozoa, heavy metals, and you start to avoid these things, because you can't dry off when you're still in the shower. So number one is staying away from these things, and then building a healthy internal environment and also an external environment. Once you start to do that, you'll start to see these allergies go away. And then also we can use things mentioned for like biological medicines, etc. We need to get to the root cause of the problem. And so generally, if you're dealing with a lot of these things, like fragrance is another one. Fragrances are extremely toxic to the body, and we put them on every day. A lot of men do as well. That's why people are taking hotels in Vegas with millions of pounds. They go there and they can't sleep because the fragrances are being pumped through the air vent as well as the pure oxygen. So you just have to look at creating health. Rather than fighting disease or allergies, you need to look to create health, a healthy body free of toxins and allergies. I hope that helps. There's obviously, if you're going through that and work with someone, because there's certain things that I do in my program, we go through a whole process where we clean the body out, different levels, different organs as well, and then we have certain tests at certain times, but only using them as and when. 99.9% of the time, once we clear the body out, these allergies disappear. Make sense? Hope that helps. Kimberly, what's the best iodine to take? There's different forms of iodine. Ancient Purity did a really good one, and it's different. Well, Dr. Edward Group's got a really good one actually from Global Healing Centre. I recommend that. I've had some really good ones of that, and you can not just take it orally, you can actually just get some and rub it as well if you want underneath over your thyroid. That really helps. I've got hives on my neck the past week. Any suggestions, please? Yeah, that can just be the body clearing house as well. So if hives generally once again a reaction to something, so if you're putting things on topically, or it could be something you've had internally in terms of food-wise that can cause hives. Also, if they keep coming out, it's the body trying to push things out of the skin, because as women you've got 5 ways to get rid of toxins, as men we've got 4. So there's breath, sweat, urine and stool, and you guys have got menstrual cycle. And so if the things aren't coming out through those pathways, if they're blocked, then they'll start to come out through the skin. And it could be heavy metals, it could be plastics, whatever it could be. It could be stress. A lot of times as well, stress can cause these issues. So relaxing the immune system, relaxing the nervous system, I should say, and letting the body just clear house. And Sophie, as we're going through things, as we're clearing, these issues are becoming less and less. The body has to sometimes purge, and sometimes it's a way of getting rid of toxins, so just telling it needs to release these things. So clearing out the body internally, changing the internal environment, same as what Kimberly said, you know, we can stay away from all the allergenic foods and food groups, and then things like stress, EMFs. Best way to guard against EMFs, obviously turn your Wi-Fi off at night is fantastic. If you can get it off all day, that's brilliant. You can instead get put into the mains, which is fantastic. Get plugged into the mains, but then you've got some very good products from Memon, which we're actually going to be on our site soon. They can actually get them put into the wall of your house, plug into the wall of the house. They create a force field around your house. It uses the electrical system of your house to actually create a force field. They're very good. I'm also going to be got some new clothing from a company called It's Phones, which will be coming out on my website soon, and that you can be wearing that on your head, over your body, and over your genitals as well. But best thing to do is mitigate an EMS is to be away from it, stay away from it as far as possible. It's keep yourself distance. Phones as well, have them in airplane mode if you're not using them. Keep them at a distance. That's why I use these earphones as well instead of AirPods. You don't want to be using them because they are radiation straight to the brain. So distance yourself, Wi-Fi off as much as you can. Use if you can, get yourself put up from the floor into the mains rather than having Wi-Fi. That's what I'll be doing in my new property. and yeah, go from there. Okay. As well as I said before, keeping that phone out of your pocket. Women, don't put it anywhere near your breast tissue, and put it on airplane mode as much as you can. But Memon's a really good company. I'll be putting them on my site soon. Can you give children vitamin D drops as well? Yeah, you can give them. There's no toxic amount of vitamin C, so you can give them as much as you want with that. But obviously, taking vitamin C orally can cause digestive distress. You can get diarrhea. That's why intravenous infusions work really well. Also, why liposomal is very good because it gets absorbed in the mouth, not just the gut. Vitamin D drops are fine. Yep. Tubal multivitamin. I think Dr. McCullough's got some really good ones for the children now. BioCare as well, which is all good. So that's not a problem. Any other questions, people? Fibromyalgia. Perfect. You've got systems to Emfs. That's great, Sophie. Fibromyalgia is just another name given to the body from, as I said before, being toxic deficient, internally balanced, and overly stressed. The way you heal anything is the way you heal everything, with a few subtle differences. That's why we've got programs for MS, we've got programs for gut, like cancer. We've got a total health revival program. Also coming out soon will be my conception to kindergarten for baby program. You know, for how to create and keep a healthy child. But the way you do that is the way you heal anything is the way you heal everything. Fibromyalgia is just another name for the body being toxic, deficient, internally imbalanced, and overly stressed, and that's where your weakness is. So my weakness was my gut and my skin. Other people, it could be their brain, so they get Alzheimer's. Other people can be their endocrine system, so they get hormonal problems. Other people can be the thyroid, and wherever your weakness in the chain is, that's what breaks from living life outside of Mother Nature's Mother Nature's ways that we should be living. If you step outside of that, then we get the pain teacher, and the pain teacher is actually really important. It's something that people like to try to ignore or just try to medicate. They get in pain, so they take a paracetamol or other drugs, when really that pain is there teaching you that something's not right. Headaches, for example, migraines, these things, it tells you you're doing something off balance. Skin issues, whatever it may be, that pain's there for a reason. It's teaching you that you're doing something out of line with Mother Nature. And once you start to live in line with Mother Nature, these things disappear. I've seen it time and time again from like fibromyalgia, gut issues, endocrine problems, thyroid problems, skin issues, cancer, whatever it may be. Once you start to create a healthy internal environment and a healthy body and stop putting toxins in, game changer. Also look at the mental and emotional health, because that stress can cause issues internally. And wherever it is, inflammation in the body, allergenic foods, these can all cause issues. So when we start to create health, creating health is very different to fighting disease. Cut, burn, poison, medicate, what the medical industry like to do. Never gets to the root cause of the problem. Just mask symptoms best, and then it actually causes other issues. It's why they're the third leading cause of death in the free world, and it's why medical drugs are the fourth leading cause of death in the free world. But fibromyalgia, if you want to help with this, Lisa, give us a shout, because we've dealt with this many times before, but you just got to get rid of what's causing the issues, the inflammation, allergic response, and start giving the body what it wants and needs to heal. And once you do that, it's going to be a game changer. Certain things can be triggering it, so we have to go into it, but start creating a healthy body, it's going to be a game changer for you. Yeah, 40s, that can happen. I've got Memon stuff for that, Sophie, so no worries. For the phones, also for the body, also for the car. It's the only thing I've actually used. I've seen it really work, but that's good, cool. If you've got information on that, it's fine. In your 40s, last 2 years of your life, put on weight around hips and belly, what's skinny all your life? Why is that? Well, you keep on blowing up a balloon, Martin, eventually one day it will burst, and if you've been doing things that have been leading to hormonal issues, or maybe having too many, it could be simple as having too many calories, or you've been having toxic foods where your body's been really able to get rid of these. If you keep on blowing up a balloon, eventually one day it will burst, which basically means you keep on taking the mick for too long, one day you have to deal with the problems. We were talking about you can either deal with your health now or later. There's only two options. And as you get older, digestive enzymes deplete in the gut, hydrochloric acid goes down, maybe not getting rid of waste as much, detoxification systems are backed up, hormonally your metabolism lowers, etc. So all these things can happen. Your hormones change. The more plastics you've got in your body, your hormones change, so you start storing weight in these areas. And men generally around their gut and hips. Women can be bum and hips as well, and it's just because that's where their body feels it needs more protection. So yeah, if you need to just strip it right back and start doing all the things that create health, exercising intelligent, and then medicating yourself with EMFs, high quality foods, getting out in nature, movement, doing these things, then you'll start to drop that weight. I mean, you see it all the time, right? You can look good and not be healthy. Once you're healthy, you always look good, and I've seen it many times. Like, dropping weight in our programs is just like, it just happens. That's just natural. People find their natural weight and they feel good and look good, and so you just need to see what you've been doing outside of Mother Nature's laws, Martin, and get back into line with that. Cool. Activated charcoal or zeolite, right? Depends on what company. I know that Symbiotica do really good activated charcoal. A lot of them, you have to look at quality. Zeolite can be good, look at the quality again. So once again, it depends. A lot of these questions are depends. People like black and white answers, but it depends on the quality. Activated charcoal from certain companies is going to be extremely toxic, and it's not going to do you any favours. But other companies like Symbiotica, very, very good. Same with zeolite. So you have to just look at the quality. And depends on your body. Some people's bodies will do better with activated charcoal, some people do better with zeolite. There's other things that can be used as well. Oxygen-based bowel cleansers can be very good. Obviously things like chlorella, spirulina can really chill out heavy metals, toxins. There's lots of things that can be used. Energy medicines, homeopathy, it all depends. So it just depends on your body and what you do best with, and also the quality of the supplements that you're using. Is there a product? No, Charlene. Best way to detox from heavy metals. Is there a product I recommend? No. The best way is to get your body to a certain level of health first, and then start cleaning it out internally. We've got an actual process we use for different organs, because you need to make sure certain organs are healthy first, because if you don't, you start putting heavy metals out and your liver and kidneys aren't ready, you can get massive die-off, and it can cause lots of issues. Also, you need to be asking why the heavy metals are there in the first place. A lot of times it can be because the body's extremely toxic or has a fungal issue, etc. They can lead to heavy metal accumulation. Can also be from algins in the body. It can also be from food, etc. So drying off, you noticed before, you can't dry off if you're still in the shower, so stopping the influx, and then looking at what's going on. Certain people, it depends, you need to get your body to a certain level of health first. You start putting out heavy metals in the body when you're not in a healthy state, it can cause big issues, which you don't want to do. So getting yourself to a certain level of health first, then going through a process. To know that, I need to know what has been going on in your background, things that you've maybe done, medical history, if you've had surgery, antibiotics, medication, where you've been exposed to these heavy metals. But then really it's getting a healthy body from the inside out, and then going through a process that allows each organ to clear. Because if you start putting things out first without it being ready, then it can cause big issues, I said again. So that's what I'd say. Working with someone is probably the best way, Charlene, because otherwise it can be dangerous. Things can crop up. And this is why on our programs I work with people over a period of time. It's not just an hourly thing. We work for 16, 20 weeks, because things can crop up. And healing's never linear, it's never A to B. You can go through little roadblocks, you can go through little die-offs, etc. And you need to know how to react to these things. So products, certain different ones I use for different things. I do like Global Healing Centre stuff. Stuff from Ancient Purity is really good. There's certain chlorellas that I like to use, fermented chlorella, certain things, different herbs, etc., helping the liver, the kidneys. Because at the end of the day, heavy metals are there for, and also a lot of them come with fungal issues. Because once you've got there, the fungus is actually coming to help your body not be exposed to heavy metals. So it's a bit of a depends, that one, Charlene. But making sure your organs are healthy, make sure you're internally healthy first is the best way possible. Otherwise you start putting things out. If you're not ready for that, it can cause a big issue. But go through a process of cleaning out the organs, making sure they're clean. I wouldn't use doTERRA and just go straight in like that. It's dangerous. very dangerous to start using one product when the body's not ready for it. And also with doTERRA's stance on dropping Pete Evans because of his stance in COVID, I wouldn't ever use doTERRA again. So they've lost a lot of people in the natural health industry. And I love to go to cold water. Yeah, cold plunges are fantastic for mental emotionally. They're great for the sexual function. They stimulate the auxiliary nervous system. Boost the immune system. I mean, they're fantastic for many different things. Any other questions, people? Half method. Yeah. Half method is good. This is one part of it, but cold shower start with 30 seconds, build up to 2 minutes. You can go cold plunges. Thank you. It's amazing in heavy metals from vaccine adverse reaction. I have some adverse. Yeah, for that I'd say work with someone, Shawnee, because you need to understand what's going on, and it's other things that can crop up. It's why I work with other biological doctors and kinesiologists and different issues depending on what's going on, because we have to hit it from multiple directions. So the healing's never linear. So it's just important to go through that. But yeah, going through a process where we clean him out internally, stopping things coming out, removing allergens from his diet as well, gluten, wheat, pasteurized dairy, homogenized dairy, soy, caffeine, etc. Refined sugar if you can. Great, adding in fermented foods, cultured foods, working on his gut health, and then allowing maybe it's a daily detox, just getting things like raw saturated fats. They're very good for cleaning the body out. They also lubricate the joints, or avocados, or things like raw butter if you can, or coconut is very good for that. Okay, making sure that the joints are lubricated, making sure that the system is internally hydrated. So saturated fats actually hydrate the system as well. And then you can go through organs, etc. Have you heard of, do you rate it Iodine Max? Addicin Max? No, I haven't heard of that product. I can have a look at it. Partners recover from Crohns and had surgery, struggling to gain weight and still expensive to pay around surgery. So any direction for Crohn's issues? Yeah, I mean, straight away I would have said don't go and get surgery for Crohn's because it's completely unnecessary. Because you've never been born with too many organs, like no one's been born deficient in medication. Now it's done though, he has to do what he should have done in the start, which is heal and seal his gut, repopulate his gut, and start to build a healthy internal environment. The reason he's still struggling to gain weight is probably because he's not digesting, metabolising, assimilating and eliminating his food properly, which comes from the general anaesthetic, which has completely wiped out his gut flora. So with this as well, he needs to start doing that. So before working with someone is probably the best solution for this, Leanna, because of what he's gone through. Pain around the site can be from inflammation, from when you get cut. The body has to go through a lot of healing for that when you've cut things out internally, and also his skin. So the actual site, there's things you can use topically. Coconut oil is great, vitamin E oil is great, Rosacea mosquito is great, even fish oil can be very good for the site, and then some essential oils like lavender, very good, tea tree oil. But for Crohn's, I mean, we've dealt with it many times before, Leanna. You have to literally come at it from a different perspective and allow the gut time to heal. It's why surgery never works long term, and neither does things like FODMAP, etc., because you haven't got to the root issue, which is why was there a problem in the first place. So creating a healthy internal environment and really changing it from there, and then stopping the body being in a chronic state of stress. That can also be from the mental and emotional as well, because if he's mentally stressed, then it's going to impact him physically. It means he's not going to digest his food either. So yeah, really changing the internal environment. I'm working on that, and probably working with someone. Yeah, that'd be my best advice around that. Any other questions? I'm using it to treat a bad flare-up of rosacea, but never had heard of it before. That's why it pretty much didn't want. Garlic powder in capsules and also treatment to put on the face. Right. So rosacea, once again, it comes from its internal issue. The body. Once you clean your body out, you're never going to get these issues. Heal the gut, clean the body out, rosacea goes away. See it time and time again. It's a reaction to an allergic response. Garlic, if you can tolerate it, is very powerful. It's nature's antibiotic, but if you've got gut issues, then it can cause other problems. So just be aware of that, because it is very powerful. Garlic, onions, etc. But really, yeah, you don't want antibiotics. Antibiotic cream, they're not going to do anything for you except for drive the problem deeper. It might give you temporary relief and then drive the problem deeper. So it's all about cleaning out the body internally. Your skin's a reflection of your internal health, and once you're internally healthy, your skin will look fine. I had massive skin issues myself, you know my story. Once you get yourself internally healthy, you won't ever get them again. So all good, but yeah, stay well away from antibiotics. Rebecca, as much as I like you putting things on, maybe not advertising your things on my page would probably be the best way to go about things. So cheers for that, hun. Have you heard of TRS spray? Yeah, from Chris Kirkhoff. Yes, I have heard of it. He seems to get really good results with it. I haven't tried it myself yet. It's actually on my list to order and have a go. Excuse me. But yeah, Chris Kirkhoff seems like he's a very good guy. Seems like he gets great results. So, you know, proof's in the pudding with a lot of these things. I will be giving it a try myself, but go for it. Pain in two knees, bending down, possible rheumatism. Turmeric helps a bit, happened overnight. Thanks, friend, recommend apple cider vinegar. Yeah, apple cider vinegar is good. Turmeric's great, but on their own they're just magic bullets. This is an internal issue, and it's a systemic problem, Martin. The information, if you look at like Ayurvedic medicine, once again, that's where your weakness is, so it's been exposed. So you've got inflammation in joints, okay? So it's like rheumatoid arthritis, any information comes internally from having things like allergenic foods, inflammatory foods, have been overly stressed, maybe EMFs, but when you start cutting these things out, the pain disappears. I've seen it happen time and time again, countless times, and there's ways to go about it to mitigate. So you don't want to just go cold turkey on these things because it can cause a healing crisis. There's ways to go about it. But once again, wheat, gluten, soy, pasteurized, homogenized dairy, caffeine, etc., processed sugar, cut these things out, it'll go. But it can take time just to build up a healthy internal environment. So go with that. Apple cider vinegar will help. You know, hydration will help. Clean food will help. Organic food, free of pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, rodenticides, chemical fertilizers will help. Fasting can be very good for this. Raw saturated fats are very good. All that helps. Thanks. So I need to try this here. Yeah, no worries, Deanna. Here if you ever need help. But you know, always say if you keep on doing the same thing, expecting different results, it's like what Einstein said is insanity, right? So the pain teaches a great lesson, and sometimes people have to go through it to learn. It's the only way people do learn. Otherwise, you know, they will. Sometimes, you know, people need to learn the hard way. It's the only way they learn. And eventually, one day, when the pain becomes too great, they'll take the changes necessary, the steps necessary. Best very high protein shake to mix with fruits alternative milk, please. Question: why do you want a very high protein shake? I just typically just want good whole foods. Very high protein. I don't really know. There's like Vital Whey, which is very good. Other ones, you know, Living Fuel on my website have got very good one plant-based protein. Some Warrior do great ones. But mixed with fruits. Body Ecology does a really good one. Vivo Protein do a very tasty one. Alternative milk, I like coconut. I like Root Health's coconut drink. That's good. You can use nut milks, etc. Fruits, but yeah, any of the ones on my website. Actually, if you go to www.reviveyourself.co, this booth, and click on the shop and go through there. They're very good, high in protein, but extremely easy to assimilate, highly bioavailable, so your body's going to be getting the best from them. So yeah, go from there. Or you can just make, you know, your own one with raw eggs if you want, raw egg yolks, things like that. That really works well with raw butter, raw cream. Fantastic. Go for a cleanse. When cleansing, should you not take supplements? To interfere with cleanses. Supplements, if you're taking supplements to boost health, they're going to help you clear toxins anyway. So that's not a problem. But going for a cleansing period, sometimes less is more. A lot of time, less is more actually. So just good foods, taking the supplements to clear. So yeah, I'd say garlic. Depends how your body deals with it. I usually leave things like garlic and grapefruit seed extract and colloidal silver for times if I feel a bit run down and need some extra boost. But otherwise, yeah, go for it. See how it goes. It's oil from expensive, I think. yeah, things that are expensive, are generally high quality, because things that are low quality, the words cheapest and best very rarely come in the same sentence. And there's a reason why things are expensive, because high quality, means high production value. That's why living fuel, one of the products I sell, is like 70, almost £80 for a tub. I mean, when you break it down into meal servings, it's very cheap. People spend £5 a day on a coffee, whereas this would be £2 or less than that, £2 a day for it. But no expense was spared on the product, because they put together everything that was highest quality, and then they put it in a formula rather than trying to scrimp and scrape. So that's why I say living fuel. Even with juicing, people talk about juicing. Juicing is good, but I say just take living fuel instead. No mess. Its OCR value is unbelievable. You get more nutrients. It's 2 scoops of it is the equivalent of $260 worth of organic produce. If you look at it, it's got more resveratrol than like 6 bottles of wine, more protein than 2 dozen eggs, more vitamin C than, it's just ridiculous, more potassium than 12 bananas. It's like ridiculous. So that's why I recommend that as well. Flood the body with concentrated nutrients. No worries, people. Thank goodness people like you who do care about people's health. Few and far between, always love you. No worries, Charlene, that's what I'm here for, darling. Look into your web, need high protein in your diet. Who told you need high protein in your diet, Elizabeth? If it was a doctor, I'd highly question that. Best all-round supplements for kids, good whole quality foods are the best for kids. Then just get maybe like a good probiotic. BioCare is really good. You can give them a multivitamin. That'd be good. Dr. McCullough does a good one. And then just making sure they're getting a high quality diet. Fermented foods are very good for them. Get raw sauerkraut, things like that. Probiotic liquids. Making sure they get a varied diet. But supplements really, like things like probiotics. I'll be phenomenal for them. You can get them a greens drink, really good, floods them. Floods the body with concentrated nutrients, and then multivitamin. And then just good oils really. Make sure you get good oils, good fats. Things like coconut oil, if you want, all works well. And then things like fulvic minerals. Actually, fulvic minerals would be fantastic for them. Put a squirt of that in the lemon water in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I really ache, but the ache doesn't feel like my muscles or bones. It feels like it's my organs. I'm wondering how to detox my liver, kidney, and so on. Yeah, sure. Probably a conversation we need to have there. If you're looking for help, darling, give us a shout. It sounds like you've got chronic inflammation, which goes down to the cellular level, and the body. It goes through. In the evening, it can clear. So your brain goes through a systemic lymphatic system, and your brain clears in the evening. So does all your organs go through a period from like almost 10 o'clock all the way to 4. That's when the best time the organs clear. And so it seems like your organs are trying to clear things out. So the best way is to actually work with something if you're going through this diet. I think there's ways to go about it, like getting yourself to a certain level of health first, then clearing out the organs, but also making sure those organs are working optimally first. So don't start pulling things out. If you've got plastics, heavy metals, toxins, parasites, protozoans, you start pulling them out without getting healthy first. It can cause big issues. So best advice I would say, actually go and work with someone. If I resonate with you, give me a shout. If someone else does, give them a shout. But you need to go through a specific process first, because you need to make sure certain organs are actually healthy before you start pulling things out of them. Colon, liver, kidneys, heavy metals, parasites, these things need to be clear first, okay, darling? And making sure you're getting good deep sleep, making sure you're getting the right amount of water, good saturated fats, have a greens drink, lemon water in the morning, clears you out. But then definitely go and work with someone, I think, because if you're getting that deep, then you need to actually have a proven process to go through. Last two on my mind: best toothpaste for receding gums, does keto diet remove inflammation? Best toothpaste for receding gums, I mean, it's just a clean toothpaste. If you want, you can even use coconut oil and a little bit of like a peppermint essential oil. That can really help. But putting oil, swishing coconut oil in your mouth for 10-15 minutes, very, very good. Raw saturated fats, once again, are very, very good for this. Weston A. Price showed this, the best diet for it is generally our westernised diet that causes teeth issues, receding gums. So cutting out refined sugars, processed oils like vegetable oils are terrible, PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids, and then all the other stuff I mentioned before, you know, all inflammatory foods. Keto can remove inflammation for certain people. Long term, it seems to not be great for people. It's also very hard to stick to. It's why you want a healthy, varied diet, but it depends on your body. Your body might do better on fats and proteins, but even then, it's about not having too much of it. But it can work for a period of time. See how your body feels. If it works for it, fantastic. If it doesn't, you know, everyone's individual. A lot of people, though, after a while of having that much fat, they feel sluggish, tired, and it also becomes very hard to stay to. They can also get hormone issues, or they're not. The detoxification pathways can clog up. They can also have bowel issues having that much fat. So just be aware of your body. This is why on our programs we go through working out what's best for you. Clear you out first and work out what's best for you. If you really need any help with this, Martin, give me a shout. You know, we can deal with it. Sounds like everything you've got, we deal with it pretty quickly. Regulate acid reflux. What you want? Acid reflux actually comes from having two little stomach acid, not too much. Doctors will tell you you've got too much, which is complete nonsense. What actually happens is you haven't got enough, so your esophageal sphincter stays open and the acid comes up. So you need to actually build up your gut in terms of the digestive fires. After the age of 30, most people, the digestive enzyme starts to deplete, and so does the hydrochloric acid from high stress living, poor quality of foods, medication, alcohol, etc. So things like digestive enzymes and hydrochloric acid are very good. And go to my shop, Stuart, and go to Biooptimizers. They've got some fantastic products there. Their probiotics, their hydrochloric acid, and their enzymes are great for this. Okay, I'd buy all three. If it persists, give me a shout, because we can work on it. You may need to go a bit deeper and work on the cellular lining of it. So the cellular lining, you need to work on the gut lining and really start to change your whole inner ecosystem. So that is something you need to do. It depends on how long you've been having this for as well. If it's been going on if it's a deep chronic issue, it's been going on for longer than 3 to 6 months, then probably give me or someone else a shout. We'll go deep into it, because you may need to go for a whole gut rejuvenation. If it's something that's come on recently, then take the products and they should clear you up. Okay. Apple cider vinegar can help as well, but it's once again, it's a magic bullet. You need to get to the root of the problem. Prolactin levels, that can happen to people depending on, everyone is different. Some people have low iron levels, high prolactin levels. Some people have, it's the same as, sometimes it can just be a person, and how the body regulates it. It's why I have to try at size 10 feet, you might have size 8 feet, so it can be different. It just depends on if that's affecting the rest of your health, if lowering them helps, or if that's how your body actually needs them to if that's where they need to be for body to function properly. So getting yourself internally healthy, working on all that, getting yourself to the best possible version of yourself, and then testing again, seeing where they are, or if they are causing issues, then obviously taking steps to get them into levels you want them to be. But with these tests, a lot of these tests as well, they're all done over mass people. So obviously we're humans, so we need to be in a certain range, but everyone's different. And also a lot of tests today, they're taking on like Homer Simpson, who's like the average person who's really unwell, fat, overweight, toxic. So, for someone it could be high, but for a healthy person that could be in a perfect range. So just be aware of that, okay? No worries, Charlotte. Look forward to hearing from you. What's good to regulate and stop acid reflux? Eat healthy but get really bad. Intense some pain. I also try to vinegar. Everything I've said before as well. And Stuart, also, if you're eating in a rush, when you're eating, are you eating mindfully? Are you eating or are you eating on the go, just having anything? You should eat healthy, but even if you're eating healthy, are you taking the time to actually eat that food, chew the food into a paste? As the Tao say, chew your water and drink. Chew your water and drink your food, which basically means have water, move it around your mouth, because you've got spleen energy in your mouth, and through digestion. Digestion actually starts before you even put it in your mouth. It actually starts when you start to smell things, but are you taking time to actually chew that food into a paste, or are you just swallowing it whole? And parasites love that, they live in dysfunction, so that will be feeding them. So are you eating relaxed, or are you eating on the go? And then, as I said before, there's other things you may need to do if it's been a chronic issue. No worries, people. Cool. Seems like all the questions done. That's been a reasonably long one, I think. So that's it for today. As always, if you do need any help, give me a shout. You can either hit me up on here with an inbox, or send me an email at ryan@reviveyourself.co if you need any help. But yeah, otherwise stay happy, stay healthy, people. I'll be putting up that information on Dr. Hodgkinson later on and a few other posts. And keep on sharing the truth, those of you out there that know that this is a whole scam, hoax, to take away our freedoms. Keep spreading the truth will eventually rise to the top. You know, the cream always does, the light always beats the dark. Stay positive, stay happy, stay empowered, listen to things that give you high energy, high food, get out, do good movement. And if you need anyone's health in the health world, that if you're going through any issues, then give them a shout. Like I said before, if you resonate with me, give me a shout, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, people, that's it for today. Loads of love. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.